Hey YouTube, this is 56 Bricks, and welcome on into another video. This is my X-Men mansion. I bought two of them to make it bigger, and I have all my uh, X-Men and Brotherhood um, mutants out and displayed. I'm gonna start detailing it with some tile, and then I put snow uh, around it to make it look like it's snowing, kind of like how I did over there with my Arkham Asylum. And I put the Avengers set right next to it to make it look like it's more snowy. But basically the mess. The road's gonna come like this, go around right here, come this way, go where Quicksilver is running, and then go straight into the X Mansion. So, and then there'll be more buildings back that road. But other than that, I added a couple floors from two X-Men mansions, and I did some classrooms and some extra rooms for beds. And then eventually I'm going to cut into this table and make the danger room and the Cerebro. So I got these two sets from AliExpress. The only thing I had wrong with it is that the face of the Sentinel is not right. But other than that, it was pretty good. The build worked out, and all the pieces fit together, and it looks really nice in my opinion. So, so I have the Brotherhood with Magneto, Sabretooth, and Juggernaut, and Mystique, and Wanda right there. And then I even got Mr. Sinister, and then Quicksilver. I'm going to get more blues to run all the way across, because that's kind of where I started, where Quicksilver's running from the Avengers Tower area, running down the street into my mess that I need to clean, and then down the road to where he's at now. And then I even got another Stan Lee right there. And then I got Iceman right there. And then Charles Xavier, Jean Grey, Wolverine fighting the Sentinel, and then Emma Frost, and then Angel, or Dark Angel, Post-Apocalypse Angel, and then Storm flying above. And then I got Jean Grey right there. And then I got Nightcrawler on the wall, bamfing to right there onto the Sentinel. And then I got Jubilee down there. And then I got a bunch of Easter eggs from the set on the ground, like the comic book and Trask Industries and the mutant registration. And then a letter to Charles Xavier. And then I have the green Charles Xavier, so I put him in that one instead of the blue one that came with the set, which didn't really make sense. And then I put his portrait of him and Magneto right beside him. And then I think I made the Charles Xavier School for the Gifted sign better. And then I made a better turret right there. And a bunch of snow. And then, as I said, I'm going to tile a lot. And this is where a fountain might be. And then I got my custom-made fountain right here. And then over here is where the X-Jet is going to be. And I'm going to put a basketball court right beside it. And then it'll kind of be like floating above it, kind of like it's flying out of it. or I'll slide it and make it look like a basketball court anyways, and then just make it look like it's sliding out with black tiles under it so it looks like it's deep, and then put the X-Jet down there. Either way. And then let's see, I got Morph down there, and Starfighter, and then I got Cable back there. Beast is hanging out over there. A lot of Snow, Rogue, and then yeah. So let's open it up and show you kind of what I did in the inside. All right, our first layer that's going down is right here, and I'll take it off so I can show you. This is Wolverine's and Nightcrawler's bedroom. Got the sword for Wolverine. Got a couple maps. And their bed. And then the travel thing for Wolverine. And then I got the bed for Nightcrawler and swords right there for Nightcrawler. The next layer down is Beast's and Gambit's room. Not much to it though. I'll show you. They got a TV going on for the mutants everywhere, and Sentinels are trying to keep the peace TV. And then made a bed for Gambit for on his card, and then Beast has that lab thing going on, and then that's it for this room. It's not much to it. And then going into this layer is Jean Grey's and Cyclops' bedroom, where they have a bed right there. And then on this side is the portrait and a little shelf, and then this is the bed on this side. And then just a hallway. And this is what the back looks like. And going back into the next layer. So on this layer, I got Storm on the top. And then I got Storm right there, teaching a class. She's teaching a class with all the chairs. Some mutants going on. And then a little Easter egg for the bubblegum that Jubilee likes to put everywhere. Which, kind of funny, I just put a layer of bubblegum right there. So, going into the next layer where Charles Xavier's office is. I didn't want to tile it because I wanted to use some tiles for other pieces, so projects. So I just had the elevator and some of the books and the shelves and the drawers there. And then I got a letter for Stark and a letter for Doctor Strange, and then a little computer pad right there to have him call the X-Men when he needs them. And that little centerpiece is actually to hold his chair in place. And then diving into the main floor is just the little dark in there, but it's the elevator, a statue, and a couple chairs, and the X Mansion's X carpet. And that is it for the middle. Okay, diving into the next layer down is Storm's and Jubilee's room with Nightcrawler on the outside. And they both got purple beds, and Jubilee has a gum right there and a cookie and a lamp between them and their drawers. And then I got the book for the Eternal Sun, reference to Doctor Strange, but I also thought like the sun with the powers of Storm. And then I got an 80s looking 24 album right there with greatest hits. that I think came in a CMF series thing. And then I just put it on her desk to kind of do like reference there. And then going into the next layer down, I made a kitchen. Well, sort of a kitchen with a nice table, a candle, and a sink and a broom. And I tiled it with a black tile right there and a dishwasher. And then going into the bottom layer is basically what is already in the set, which is another classroom with movable thing to show that sentinels are here, and then a bookshelf. And that is it for all the layers. And that is it for my X Mansion video. And eventually, as I said, I'll tile it up and make more grass and more snow around it to make it look like it's winterized. Anyways, tell me what you guys think, and I'll catch you in the next one.